Today, CDs are not what they were. So hello and welcome to the vlog. We have early morning winter sun issues here in the studio sometimes, but I think we can pull the blinds up. So today we're going to do a tale of two releases, because when you're watching this, the day before, Friday, if you're watching this on a Sunday, a song called Hiljada Koraka, which you might have heard about on this channel, came out. And then tomorrow, a song called Sloboda, which you might have heard about on this channel, but you might not, is coming out. And we want to talk about both of them. So last week on the vlog, we talked about Hiljada Koraka. We talked about the music video that I made super fast and how it got its premiere in Novi Sad at the meeting to do with Srce Festival. And on Friday, which is probably 2 days ago for you, it got its release on YouTube and also on Spotify and iTunes and Apple and Music and all the streaming services. So things change in music and music creation, and one of the things that is important is validation, if we can use that word. The thing that says you've done something and it's done. And when I was starting out playing, it was right around the transition point between music being sold on cassettes and music being sold on CDs. So very early on, for me, it was like a CD, like a properly pressed, made CD. That was the validation. That was, we made something. Like, someone could give me a CD today. I have nowhere to play it. I mean, except in the combi. I actually had this week a guy in town here who's doing music with the Catholic youth group in town, and they've got like a song competition coming up. He wants to write a song. He wanted to play me a couple of examples and ask for some advice on songwriting. And he's like, can I bring you some stuff on CD to play? I'm like, you can. But we're going to end up sitting in the combi. Today, CDs are not what they were. The thing that is important is Spotify. I think when I talk to people who are in their 20s, that's the validation. If your music's on Spotify, that's a proper release. And Spotify is more complicated than YouTube for reasons I don't need to go into, but there's a few more hoops to jump through to get your music. So it's not just I can just like upload it and there. Hiljada Koraka is on Spotify. And that is a big deal for everyone who is involved in it. And it's super cool that we're able to do that. We're not just doing something that's just going to be passed around on mobile phones, or they're like rough demos or something. It's like, no, this is a real release and it's got a music video and it's out on Spotify and it's there with all the other music in the world that's there on Spotify. So for old people like me, this means a lot. A pre-order on iTunes. Obviously, I'm not going to buy it because I made it. But it's cool to see that it's for sale so you can buy it. So the other release to talk about is the release of Sloboda, which means freedom, which is the new single from Four Hombres and Flowery. So they recorded their single here in the studio, and then we went to Livno to film the band on location there, and they had a guest on the song, a guy called Gile, full name here on the screen because, yeah. And he filmed some stuff in Barcelona, and we put it all together into the music video. So I'm not going to attempt to give you a history lesson on XU Rock and Gile's significance in that or his part in that. That's for you to Google for yourself. But what I will say is it was a really big deal for the guys in the band that he guested on the track. He played guitar on it, and we've seen from how it's been received sort of in relation to the record company stuff and TV stuff and media stuff that it carries some weight. So that's a cool thing. So here's a bit of behind the scenes from the Sloboda video shoot out just outside of Livno. And yeah, had a really nice restored bright green Renault 4 to drive around in. Well, I drove around in. I was driven in it, filming. Yeah, and it was a really nice sunny day sandwiched between a couple of miserable rainy days, so we got really good weather to shoot in, and it all came out looking cool. And the whole vibe of the video is to have something that's kind of, in my head, my inspiration was a 70s postcard, and that's what we were trying to go for, and I think we kind of got pretty close in the end. from my perspective, it is great to be part of producing a song that the band are really, really happy with, and they think the music video is cool, and they're excited about what it's going to do for their exposure and the music that they're making. So that's something that's pretty special. And I think for me, that when we come back to talking about formats and how music get released, this is where I get to grapple with where things are at in the world. And so with this project, some of you will be aware, if you're into your streaming services are now offering video. So that's a new format in terms of stuff that I have to produce as the guys editing the video, that's different from it if it's going to go out on YouTube, that's different from it if it's going to go out on television, which is going to do all those things. So there's a lot of sort of technical behind the scenes work that goes on, and that for me is important because it keeps me on my toes and makes sure that I'm really across all these different things that are developing in a way music's being distributed. So it's been a bit of a busy week here in the studio. I had Artso here on Monday, and we were working on another song of his, and that song is possibly done. It's one he wrote back in the summer. We started recording it a month or so back, and it's cool. It's more mellow than some of the other stuff we've done. It's got some cool guitar stuff on it, and yeah, I really like how it's come together. So that's exciting. And then Budo was here on Wednesday morning, and he was doing a bit of djembe on Artso's song, and he was also working on some demos with me for our follow-up to WeDoAdventure. So yeah, work is underway for a follow-up to the WeDoAdventure album, and I'm really happy about that. It's cool, the song ideas that we've got, the demos we're working on at the moment, they're similar but different, which is good, and they're sounding really good, and we're really excited about how the album's going to come together. So watch this space on that one. I mean, it's not going to be something that happens in the next month or two that something comes out, but hopefully next year. Let's see.